What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to talk more about the railroad strikers, the railroad workers strike going on or about to go on when the clock strikes midnight on Friday night. I want to talk to you because some Republicans tried to advance a bill to force the workers to get to work and accept the arbitration deal that the PEB came up with. But like a savior in the wind coming out of nowhere, Senator Sanders came out, flew off the top rope, dropped an elbow on the GOP, said no. He had pulled a Matumbo, was like, no, get that out of here. No, get out of here. You're not going to be able to block this. They're going to go ahead and continue this movement towards a strike unless these companies deal with their workers fairly. So I want to read to you from The Hill because this article just came out a little while ago. Sanders blocks proposal to force rail unions to accept labor deal. Senator Bernie Sanders on Wednesday blocked a Republican request to force railroad workers and companies to accept the recommendations of a nonpartisan panel to avoid a strike that would impact millions of Americans. Sanders stood up on the floor to block the speedy approval of the resolution, introduced by Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee ranking member Richard Burr out of North Carolina, Republican, and Senator Roger Wicker, Republican out of Mississippi, that would require railroad workers to adopt the outlines of a labor deal. He argued that railroad companies are making huge profits and should start treating their workers more fairly. The rail industry has seen huge profits in recent years, and last year alone made a record-breaking $20 billion in profit, Sanders said. Last year, the CEO of CSX made over $20 million in total compensation, while the CEOs of Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern made over $14 million each in total compensation. By contrast, Sanders said that the workers in the freight rail industry are entitled to a grand total of 0 sick days. These workers are worked to the bone without a thought or care for their personal lives. GOP senators, however, say their resolution would avoid a disastrous rail strike which could freeze rail travel and freight shipment around the country. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Republican out of Kentucky, accused Democrats of putting the economy at risk after Sanders blocked the resolution. But here's the thing, bitch. Did I say that? I mean Mitch. Why ain't y'all yelling at the companies who are sitting there telling their workers they can't have a damn day off? Y'all ain't doing that though, right? No, you want to put the pressure on the workers because you guys are paid by the corporations to do the corporations' dirty work. You dirty little people, dirty people, bunch of crooks. Y'all need to get up out of my public office so that we can get some real folks in there. But thankfully, Sanders is out there fighting, and he came through off the top rope and said, screw that. And McConnell went on to say, Senate Democrats just blocked our bill that would have given railway workers a big raise and prevented a crippling strike and supply chain crisis. If a strike occurs and paralyzes food, fertilizer, and energy shipments nationwide, it will be because Democrats blocked this bill, he tweeted. Bullshit. It won't be because Democrats blocked the bill. It'll be because some really rich people don't want to do the right thing with their workers. Quit spinning it like it's the workers' fault. It ain't the workers' fault. You guys are putting up shitty ass conditions and people ain't putting up with it no more. Guess what? Right now, it's a labor market, baby. It's a labor market. Y'all gonna have to deal. You already fired all your workers over there at the railroad. So you're gonna need the folks you got. You better come with the right shit and stop bullshitting with this nonsense you guys are doing. The Burr-Wicker resolution would adopt the comprehensive recommendations by the Presidential Emergency Board. Here's the biggest complaint, though. The union workers themselves said the PEB did not bother to do any mitigation on the quality of life issues, which were their major stopping points in the negotiations. The money's all fine and dandy. You want to start doing that. And even the money isn't enough because it doesn't keep up with inflation. But they ain't going to tell you that. They're going to say it's a record-breaking raise that they're going to give them. Sure, record-breaking, but the cost of living is skyrocketing. It's not keeping up. And they did not address the quality of life issues. But let's read on. So, the Burr-Wicker resolution would adopt the comprehensive recommendations by the Presidential Emergency Board, which Biden created to avert a strike. Those recommendations include significant wage increases retroactive to 2020. Byrne noted it would include a 24% increase in pay, annual bonuses of $1,000, and additional paid leave. This is the president's bipartisan emergency board that he set up that came back with a recommendation to the Biden administration and said, here is the solution to this. It should be adopted, Burr says. Wicker warned on the Senate floor that a rail strike would hurt the economy and further fuel inflation. They're always trying to scare the public. But where is the pressure campaign to get these companies to do the right thing? Where's the pressure campaign to get these companies to do the decent thing for their workers? I'm not seeing it from this Republican Party, these few members that are out here in the paper talking. The last thing we need, he says, is a shutdown of the nation's rail service, both passenger and freight, and yet that is what we are facing in less than a day and a half from this moment. A massive rail strike that will virtually shut down our economy, he said. A Republican aide said Sanders' objection makes a strike more likely. Then the aide went on to say, Bernie wants a strike. Local unions would still have to negotiate some of the finer details of labor agreements if the Burr-Wicker resolution is adopted, but the broad outlines of an industry-wide labor deal would be set. Congress has required workers and companies to accept the recommendations of a special emergency labor board at least 4 previous occasions. Burr made that point on the floor Wednesday afternoon. Congress has intervened 18 times in the past, imposing PEB recommendations in whole or in part 4 times. If we don't do it, if we don't force this issue, at 12:01 tomorrow night, the railroads will shut down, and the economic impact on the American people is $2 billion a day, he said. Yeah, $2 billion a day at the hands of a few very wealthy owners. Don't fall for the okie doke, folk. Don't fall for the okie doke. They're going to sit there and spin it like if the workers are the problem. The workers are not the problem. The workers are the solution. They've always been the solution. Workers ain't never been the problem. And that's facts, Jack. Anyway, remember, fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. Peace.